what's up guys, it's Shining Polaris and just finished watching AEW's Full Gear and it was a really good show. Yeah, almost every match on here I really liked, and yeah, they had a very high bar to set since All Gear was kind of so I really think this was really good for all of us to watch, and I'm glad that it went well, because I mean I really enjoyed it and I'm probably definitely going to watch it again soon. If we're going to go through all the matches, because they have a lot of matches and they're all really really great card for the show. So yeah, so we're going to start off immediately with the buy-in match, which was Serena Deeb versus Allison Kay, and this was for the NWA Women's Championship. And again, I just really like this match because you got Allison Kay, who hopefully AEW will sign, and she's like one really good women wrestler, and like I said, AEW needs to really improve their women division, and if they sign her, that will be a huge improvement. Obviously both Serena and Allison look great. But let's see, at the end of the buy-in, Serena landed her finisher, which was the Serenity Lock, and Allison lost. But again, like I said, Allison looked great in it. The best part was right at the end, after Serena raised her hand up in victory. You had Thunder Rosa came out, and which was very surprising, came out and just looked right at Serena, and they were like face to face, jaw jacking each other. And this either means that, well, first of all, definitely means that Thunder Rosa did not sign to WWE, which is great. Hopefully she did actually sign full-time to AEW, but I know she signed for NWA. Serena just lost that title to Thunder Rosa, so obviously Thunder Rosa's coming back, want that title back, so who knows? It's a great story to be told there. Oh, also on commentary, you have Don Callis, who is the owner, I believe, of Impact. And of course, that got me excited. And on Twitter, you can see a lot of the comments, they're excited too. Does this mean there may be an Impact and AEW relationship? Because that will be cool. Just like for the DC universe, I love all the CW shows and I enjoy when they all do crossovers. If they can, if AEW can do a little bit of crossover with Impact, that would be amazing, because they have a lot of great wrestlers on that show. All right, so right into the main show. First match of the day, which I was very surprised. That was the big one, Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page. This will, the winner of this will be the #1 contender for the AEW title. And yeah, to start off the match with this, very good match, very obviously serious match. You got two extremely good wrestlers and they're going at it. Like I said, this was very serious, a lot of emotion in it. There was a couple times where Hangman tried to land the buckshot lariat onto Kenny, but Kenny ducks it, and then you see Kenny trying to do the one wing angel to Adam, but of course Adam he struggles and he gets out of it. A lot of near stuff like that. My favorite part of the match was Adam. They were out on the ramp and Adam did a power bomb onto Kenny right on the ramp, and I'm telling you, it looked like it really hurt, because hits that, you just hear that like clunk of the board of the ramp, and then Kenny kind of bounced off from that. I mean, it looked like it really hurt. But yeah, I'm very sure that's definitely on Twitter, probably on YouTube as well. Go and watch that, because that was like crazy. Yeah, so at the end, you had like I said, Kenny, he tried to do the one wing angel, but Adam struggles out of it, and I think Adam tried to do buckshot lariat again. You have Kenny ducks off it, but then he finally lands a V-trigger right onto Adam, and he goes and he wins it. So obviously this was expected. We knew that Kenny was going to win this match, because he is on his way to get the title. And but then you see Adam, he just he's laying on the ground, the camera up here is looking down on him, and he just is laying there sprawled out looking all sad. And you have Kenny, he just kind of looks at him. You don't really touch him or anything. I don't know if he's probably not really saying anything, like, okay, well, that was it. Time to, time for the next thing. So Kenny walks away, and then you just have Adam just laying there, like looking all sad. So this was a very good win because it furthers Adam's storyline. What is he going to do next? He's going to really spiral out of control now. And obviously you have Kenny, who is just like on a monster roll to get that title. Next match, which is, because that match was so good, you were like, okay, well, we started off so strong. What's the next match? Next one was Orange Cassidy versus John Silver. This match here, again, this is your comic relief match, and not really too much. There's not really a story built here. You just have two very popular wrestlers going at it, and of course, this is really more of to showcase John Silver, because he's been just gaining in popularity, ever since he really had a more main role in a BTE. So again, this was a really good match. Again, it showcased how good of a wrestler both of them are, because obviously they're both more comedic wrestlers, and it was, like I said, it was really good. So the best part of this, because you have obviously Cassidy, who is very slow moving and just kind of like whatever, and then you have John Silver, who is extremely hyper. So a lot of the times he's just going around like showing off his biceps and just jaw jacking at Cassidy. The funniest part was you got Cassidy always have his hands in his pockets, but John Silver goes and he's tired of that, so he goes and he rips his pockets out and he actually puts it in his mouth and pretends to like eat it, and he just looks like a mad dog doing that. It was very, very funny. John Silver looked very good. It just shows how strong he is for such like a shorter guy. I mean, there was a part where he just like lift Cassidy up with one hand like this, and then he did kind of like a, I don't know, F10-ish move to Cassidy as well, so he's able to throw him all over the ring. But at the end, John Silver is trying to finish Cassidy off with Brody Lee's discus lariat, and as he swung it at Cassidy, Cassidy ducks, lands his orange punch right onto John Silver, and then did the beach break move, and Cassidy won. So yeah, so there you go. That was for that match. Very fun to watch, and it was. First, I was kind of questioning why was this not the first one, because obviously this is not the serious match, but it was pretty good because you got Kenny and Adam. What a very serious, emotional match that was, and then you kind of have a little break with the second one in Cassidy and Silver. So there you go. That's the second match. Third match, huge one. This is probably the one I was really, really looking forward to. It is for the TNT title. This is Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes, and so you have Darby Allin coming in his car, from the side, and he doesn't come in with anybody. He's just by himself. Then you have Cody Rhodes coming in with the whole entire Nightmare family. It's about like a dozen people now. And throughout this whole match, it was like Cody being extremely cocky to Darby. He's doing the push-up stuff. He just overall just trying to show like, yeah, you're not gonna beat me. You're not the face of TNT. But I would say to me the craziest thing that happened was they were both on Darby and Cody were both on the top rope, and then I'm not sure how, but Cody like did the crossroads off the top rope and threw Darby to the side, and I really thought that was it. I was like, I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, Darby cannot lose this. But then at the end you had oh my God, it was crazy. It was like they started doing roll-ups to each other. So it was like just back and forth, Darby and Cody doing roll-ups, and then finally by the third or fourth one or whatever, Darby actually pins him. And then this was so fast. It was like, did he really win it? Because the last time Darby and Cody faced off each other, that was for the TNT tournament. You had Darby land the coffin drop and Cody rolled him up and Cody won it. So actually, that's what I thought happened was, okay, Cody did the roll up to Darby and he won it. But then when you obviously hear Darby's music, and then you see Cody looking so shocked, and he's looking at the Nightmare Family crew and he's like, what the hell just happened? Then it was official. What was really nice was Cody had the TNT title, and he kind of like kneeled and like gave it to Darby. So that was really nice. It was like handing the torch, to the next generation. So that was really cool. After that match, you hear the FTW music. You got Taz coming out, and he's very, very angry, already jaw jacking at Darby, and as Darby and Cody are looking at Taz from behind, you had Ricky Starks and Brian Cage come up and beat both of them down. Brian and Ricky grabbed Darby and basically pushed him all the way to his car that was like parked on the side, and then he like kind of threw him in the window of the car, and then they opened the door and they had Darby's arm in the door, and I was like, oh my god, they're really gonna slam it, even though that's all fake or whatever. It still looked bad, so I was like, oh man, they're gonna really try to break his arm, but they didn't. Will Hobbs came in to save the day, and he chased Team Taz off, and then there you go. That's the ending of that match. So obviously, we still have the Darby and Ricky rivalry, which is really good. And then it's good they have Will Hobbs back, and he's probably going to have some team up with Darby there. Let's see. The next match after that was Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose, and I think people will say this is probably the most disappointing match of the day because there was not a lot of build. Now you can also say, oh well, the Cassidy and Silver was the same thing, but again, that match was just for fun. There was no title on the line. It was it's just both of them just being funny. But this one was for the championship, and it was, like I said, very, very little build. It was mostly just 2 weeks ago or whatever. Shida was like, yeah, come at me, Nyla, and then there you go. There was the match. Also because we already have seen, Shida and Nyla go at it already. So you kind of like, I already seen this match, the last two pay-per-views. So I don't know. I guess expectations was very low. I personally thought Nyla was going to win this match, but it was Shida that retained, which is good because I really want Shida versus Britt Baker. Hopefully they actually build that storyline so that Britt Baker could get it by Revolution. Let's see what happened here. There was a couple of spots. You got Shida trying to hit Nyla with her running knee strike. Nyla tried to do the power bomb on her. There was a lot of like close calls on both sides. You got Vicky Guerrero trying to get involved. She tripped up Shida when Shida was trying to do that running knee thing. She like tripped her up. Vicky had the kendo stick ready to hit Shida. Of course, Aubrey Ref got the stick away from her. So just a straightforward match. Like I said, Shida wins. And like I said, straightforward, not really actually. It was a lot of weird stuff that happened at the end, but otherwise she won. Again, weird thing that happened. We'll see what happens on Dynamite or whatever. You had Nyla and Vicky kind of yelling at each other at the end of the match because obviously Vicky's very mad that her client or whatever lost, and then they slapped each other, and then Vicky walks off. So I don't know what that means there. Next match, huge one, FTR versus Young Bucks, and I think the expectation for this match was so high. I think a couple people, I could see people being like kind of let down. It was an extremely good match. I think this was the longest match out of the whole show, because you have these two, the best tag teams in their respective companies back in the day, and to finally just have them together, like I said, dream match. The whole time you had FTR really working on Matt Jackson's leg, because he really hurt his leg, and I think, like I said in my last video, I think they're doing that to set up when if he actually needs help or surgery on that leg and he has to be out, they could say, oh yeah, that's because FTR damaged it, but he really did hurt himself. So I think that's what's going to happen eventually. But anywho, so FTR really worked on Matt's leg for like the whole time, so they really cut that ring in half. when Matt finally did the hot tag to Nick. Obviously, Nick came in just like a madman, destroying FTR left and right there. Um, there was a couple times where did you have Dax? I don't know what he did. I think he punched the ring or something, but he really did hurt his hand. So they had to wrap his hand, and his hand was really bleeding. So he actually hurt that hand. And that was kind of like the Young Bucks. They can like work on Dak's hand a little bit. And then you have Cash, who surprisingly was trying to do some jumping off the rope thing, even though that is not FTR's style at all. They're a very grounded team. But then Daxie trying to do some some crazy moves off the rope. Tries, okay. So like near the end, you had FTR. They're again trying to mock the Young Bucks, and they went and did like a big super kick to Matt, I believe, and I think they already super kicked or did something to Nick because Nick was out of the ring. So how did a Young Bucks beat FTR? That was because after they did that super kick, I think Cash was trying to do something really fancy. I think he was trying to jump from the top rope and try to do a 450 splash, which is again not their style, but they're trying to do that to show off to the Young Bucks. Yeah, we could do that too. So he tried to land that, missed or whatever, and then Matt Jackson pins him for the win. So there you go. You got Young Bucks. They are your new AEW Tag Team Champions. So that's really good. You see FTR kind of scooting back into the corner, and they looked very mad and kind of cowardly, but they looked very angry that they lost. And yeah, so to me, like you could say that Young Bucks, you were expecting Young Bucks to win because they put that stipulation that if they lost, they would never go for the titles again. But in a way, I almost thought FTR was going to win it because their reign was so short. They only did it for like the 2 months, and they're considered the best tag team ever as well. So anywho. Ending was great because as Young Bucks was trying to celebrate, you had Kenny Omega came out and he was like hugging them and then holding them up. So you have that looking at the being the elite team right there. You're like, oh yeah, they're back together. But then the best part, you see Adam Hangman Page. He's just in the tunnel there, like in the corner. Like they didn't really focus to him, and he's just looking kind of sad, drinking the hand. And you're like, okay, so is he leaving with the elite? Or did he join FTR? Interesting. See, and that's all I hope. I hope like you're wondering, what is FTR going to do now? Come on, man. Let's build up that Horseman storyline. So there we go. And then so last match of the day, that is the main event. You have for the world championship, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. This is an I Quit match, and you knew it was going to be a hardcore because both are very hardcore wrestlers. You had Eddie Kingston. He had new gear on. It was very green and silver. Obviously, his gear is always a nod to some of his favorite wrestlers. But it was funny online. They were saying he's dressed as the Green Ranger, and I was like, "That's right," because his colors were exactly those colors. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so. Obviously, hardcore match. They use a lot of crazy weapons, and but in my opinion, I was hoping there'd be like more blood because I mean, like from previous matches that Moxley had in the past pay-per-view in 2019, there was some bloody matches. So, but anyway, it was still good. Highlight for these, I would say when Mox took Lucille out, and Lucille is the bat with the barbed wire, and obviously hits Kingston with that. Kingston takes part of the barbed wire out, put it around his hand, and like punches or puts his hands right to Moxley's face there. Then you have Eddie Kingston, who takes out his patented bag of tacks, pours it on the ground, slams Moxley onto those tacks. Obviously that looked terrible. And to make it even better, he somehow had a bottle of rubbing alcohol. I think that is so funny. He had a bottle of rubbing alcohol, and he pours it on his back. So you could just think and imagine the pain. Like what is going on here? So yeah, like I said, very brutal. There was a what is it? Kingston had a couple chairs, threw him at Mox. Well, obviously, you know, Mox is just trying to kill Eddie basically in various ways. At the end, Moxley did the paradigm. No, yeah, so he did the chokehold first, and then he did the paradigm shift. And then he went and did the bulldog chokehold again to Kingston, but this time with the barbed wire in his hand, so he had it like under his neck or like that. And as Kingston, he's like he looked like he's about to cry, and he had blood coming a little bit coming out of his mouth. And then you had the ref Bryce Remford looked really closely to Eddie, and they had like a past relationship as well. So he looks at him and he's like, "Come on, say I quit." And then very very quietly. He says that he quit. So there you go. Eddie Kingston lost. You have Moxley retains the title. Good match. I personally wish it went a little bit longer. Of course, I wish it was more bloodier, but what are you gonna do? This is to me, like, I already expected Eddie to lose, because I think this is going to further his storyline, because I believe Pac is going to come back and he's going to try to take his Death Triangle buddies back, and then you have Eddie just going to lose it, because he has now like lost everything. This is what I think. He's not only he lost his title opportunity that he waited 18 years for, but then now he lost his family. So we're going to see about that. At the end, you got right at the end, as Jon Moxley celebrating with his hand raised high, you see Kenny Omega coming out, and he's right at ringside, and he's looking at Jon, and they're just eyeing to each other like, yeah, this is gonna go down. So that is exciting, because as we all said 1,000 times, next person that's going to get the title is going to be Kenny Omega. So that's probably gonna be at Revolution. By the way, I am going to personally try to be there. So we will see. Revolution, February 27th. So, all right. Thank you guys for listening to my rant. The video went a little bit long, but thank you guys for listening, because I really, really enjoyed this pay-per-view. So, all right. Follow me everywhere on social media at Shining Polaris, and I will see you next time. All right. Thank you. Bye.